Addie, you don't want to say hey? Come here and say hey. Say hey to YouTube. We'll say, don't be shy. Come on, say hey to YouTube. Got the saw dog here, Addie. We're coming to do a little work at the sawmill. So I've spent probably 2 weeks working on this demo project and pretty close to the completion of that project. I have almost everything cleared out on it. The firewood I moved at the first of middle of the week. I think I moved it Tuesday or Thursday. The porch of the old house sat right here where these ruts are, and then I had my firewood stack there, and it was kind of in the way, especially when I build my new structure. So I put it right over there against the neighbor's privacy fence, and then I still have some scrap metal and some slabs of concrete to do something with. I think I'm gonna upcycle these pieces of concrete. If I can keep them in big enough chunks, they'll come in handy in as a floor in the old sawmill shed, and kind of set those, smooth that out and set those in. But I still need to come in here and do a little more grading, and then I'll use the fill dirt sitting over there and build up a pad, and I'll video some of that for you. But I still have some chunks of concrete that I want to get out of here, and then some pieces of scrap metal like this old drill bit I found as I was walking through here just a moment ago. I'm gonna get new tires for the skid steer maybe next week, so I want to get this all leveled out and get fill dirt on top of it before I go get new tires. Otherwise I'm gonna have that size hole in my new tire. Not something that I'm interested in. But yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this tin here. It's got that patini look to it. I'm gonna restack it, of course, because this looks atrocious, but I think I can reuse that on some projects later on. Or maybe somebody's interested in buying it, or maybe somebody can use it. But either way, I think it looks cool. I really want to build me a little cooking shed, outdoor kitchen type thing for my grill. So we might use that on that project to do the bottom of it. Here's those pieces of slab. I've got 2 more over here to my left, but I think they'll do nicely sitting as the floor of the old shed if I can give it a little bit of smoothing out first. So as I was working last Saturday, I was cleaning those pads off, kind of getting some of the old clutter off of it before I pulled them out of the ground. And I'd run my skid steer like all day, and I happened to just get off of it to sweep some debris into the bucket. And when I did that, I looked over the edge of my skid steer right here, and I saw smoke / steam coming out. So I ran around here and opened the gate of the engine compartment and started looking around. And I don't know why Bobcat decided to do it this way, but these soft lines for the fuel, let's see if we can get in here far enough. This is a soft line that goes into the injector off of a hard line, there's no clamp. It's just pushed on. Just pushed right on there. And what had happened, and I think that the one that popped off was some kind of feeder line or I don't know. I'm not entirely, maybe a return line from off of here. But this guy right here, this guy had popped off and was squirting fuel up and onto the exhaust right here. So had it popped off, 5 hours earlier when I was doing some prep for a yard, it would have continued to pour fuel out until it caught on fire, or I noticed a big enough plume of steam or whatnot. So definitely something to be aware of if you're a Bobcat owner, especially these older 873s, and I'm assuming that some of the smaller ones as well. Keep your eyes on that. Keep your nose open for diesel fuel smell, because that can ruin your day in a hurry. All right, so let's go ahead and go over here and do a little bit of sawing. I'm pretty cotton picking behind right now, mostly because I was off for about a month after we had our kid here in February. So I don't want to leave that laying there for me to run over with the truck. So I've got a handful of pretty good piles of logs, and we will look at those real quick. So my grandfather owned this piece of property, and he liked to tear down old houses, old barns and whatnot. So that piece of scrap metal I picked up out there is not the first nor the last of metal that I will find in the yard area here. So these guys right here, these little poles right here are mine, and that's what, not the trashy looking ones, but some of this will be 2x6s for the building. I've actually got a handful of 2x6s right there for the building. This stack belongs to a gentleman who builds pole buildings, actually, ironically enough. That little stack right there also belongs to him. I got this stack of poplar back in the summertime. We just cut that mantle for Hunter out of it. And then this is the pile that I'm working on today. We got about 2 dozen logs in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22, 23 logs. And the one on the mill is also this gentleman's, local cattleman. So we've got plenty to do. Oh yeah, I forgot, I've got a couple of logs laying over there also. Let's see here. A couple of cedar logs a guy dropped off last week. They are toothpicks, man. Like, I'm not real happy I wasn't here to see them. Dad actually came over and unloaded these for me, but man, they're small. Like, I'm gonna have to call him and tell him I can't saw like maybe 3 of them, 4 of them. I don't know. I might make it some small pieces out of it since he's used his time to come over here. And then Irvin, my buddy Irvin, he dropped this little 2 dump trucks full of poplar and a couple of oaks and a couple of, that's a good little pine right there. It's small, but man, that's a straight little pole. I like that. That'd be fun to saw. Yeah. You got plenty of work to do, right, Addie? You got plenty of work to do. Yeah, she'll get it in the sawdust pile. That's her job. Thank you for watching, and until we see you next time, keep it dusty.